Hi, my name's Catherine. I was initially diagnosed with a glioblastoma grade 4 with an IDH mutation back in July 2016. I found out recently that this would now be diagnosed as an astrocytoma grade 4 with the IDH mutation. But enough about my diagnosis. At the time of diagnosis, I was a full-time assistant head teacher in London, a wife and a mum to a young child. I was about to become a deputy head at a primary school in Essex, which I had interviewed for in April 2016. We were also in the process of moving house. All of this was put on hold though while I underwent treatment. I spent a couple of weeks in hospital recovering from the two operations, and then a few months receiving concurrent radiotherapy and chemotherapy. During this period, my new school were very supportive. I had received support from two local hospices, and one of the ladies had arranged access to work for me to help to return to school. Living in Chelmsford, there was no way to get to work in Harlow other than quite an irregular bus. So she helped me to arrange taxis through this scheme. It is important to have a range of support as there is so much that needs to be arranged before you can return to work. By February 2017, I was desperate to use my brain again in the way it was intended for. I'd had physiotherapy to restore the movement in the right-hand side of my body, but I was still struggling with word finding. My short-term memory hadn't completely returned. I knew that I'd need a lot of support. My new head teacher was great. I remember going in for a chat and him saying whatever I could do would be brilliant. The whole school staff were incredibly supportive too. I decided I'd do a phased return, which everybody was happy with. I was going to be returning for half days every other day of the week and gradually build back up to full time, hopefully by May half term, but I was full time by Easter. There was a lot of support happening at this time. I was visited by someone from Access to Work, and my head teacher and I met with him to discuss how we could move forward. I decided to use a dictaphone in meetings so I could listen back to it later so I could recall what happened. We also thought it would be good to use post-its to remember things. This also helped me use my dominant hand again. My head teacher suggested I used bullet journaling too. All of these things really helped. I'd also developed epilepsy through the surgery. Now, being a teacher or deputy head teacher is rather tricky when you could have a seizure at any moment. The whole of my school staff, a staff meeting before I returned, it was amazing to think that so many people had learned what to do should I ever have a seizure in front of them. Unfortunately, my eyesight had been affected by the operations. I was wearing glasses to help with the squint that I'd developed. I was told not to worry about sitting behind a screen and take everything at my own pace. To say I was surprised about all the adjustments made at new school is an understatement. However, I am a realist. I know that my experience is not what everyone else will have. Please, if you can, share this video with your employer as an example of what could be done if you find yourself in the same situation as me. Thank you.